Warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for The Walking Dead, Season 5, Episode 6, Consumed, or aka The Carol and Daryl Adventures in the Big City. I am your host, Clio, and with me I have Heather.
Hey guys.
Pat Michelle.
Hi.
What
And
up?
John.
We don't like John. It's
What's up, guys? How are you?
Tired.
Peachy.
sniffly.
I really want ice cream. Is that a feeling?
I think so.
Do not talk about food, or I'm gonna be like crying. There's this thing of Pringles next to me that I'm trying not to eat.
If you do, just mute it.
It's not even that. It's just if I start to eat and John sees me, he will tease me.
No.
All will tease you.
Yes.
Everybody, because I can't do The Walking Dead without eating something. So I'm gonna try not to eat something this week.
So let's start with the flashbacks. We get a lot of Carol's flashbacks. We get all Carol flashbacks
Yay!
this episode.
Yes.
And there are a lot of quiet moments that a lot of people on the internet thought were kind of boring, but they obviously weren't paying attention.
Are incorrect.
They were necessary.
It's not boring at all.
They were very necessary flashbacks.
I agree.
Like, because up until now, we haven't had a single answer as to where was Carol after Rick told her to get lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So was that she was in Atlanta, or near
Yeah.
Atlanta, like outside, just outside the city, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
she was like
good.
on the outskirts.
Yeah. She was obviously able to see the flames, the smoke from the prison.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of flames and smoke, this episode is named Consumed, and there is an obvious motif of fire.
I think the chick on Talking Dead said that there were 6 different times in the show where there was something with fire involved.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, 6 or 10.
7.
Somewhere
There
in
was
that,
a lot.
in that range.
And
Just a lot.
Yeah.
Like 12 or 45. I'll never know.
Yeah,
Like,
Yvette Nicole Brown, she takes notes. She's so cute. Like, she had a notebook, like, and I'm like, I host a show about The Walking Dead. I don't take that much notes.
yeah, it puts your notes to shame. Like, she had page upon page.
Pages.
Like, highlighted.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
what's she doing?
I might steal her method, because she writes the notes and then highlights, and I'm like, that's smarter than what I've been doing.
I think she had notes for the entire season, though. So.
Yeah.
And she gets to talk to the actors themselves, and it's like, yeah,
Well, you know.
not fair.
Just
Well, that's what
chat
happens
with
when
Chris
you're a
Hardwick.
big league.
So, yeah, the whole fire motif. What do you think is being consumed, since that is the title of the episode?
Society.
Feelings.
Actually, I think it's more deeper. I think it's deeper than that, because a lot of the episode was between Daryl and
Yeah, that's...
Carol talking about Daryl trying to tell her, start over, let it go, start over. So I think Consumed is also kind of hinting towards whatever baggage Carol's still carrying around.
I was just gonna say that all her regrets and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because she was ready to talk about Lizzie,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and Daryl stopped her, was like, nope,
We're moving on.
not yet.
Yeah.
And I think
Moving
it's
on.
also society itself has been consumed
yeah.
because of this whole plague.
Well, yeah.
You know, everything that was moral and decent in this world is gone.
People have changed, like Carol
Those are-
says.
Yeah, that's the more obvious consumed thing within the show. But I think, for the most part, this one episode was basically hinting at Carol's regrets in her past and that nasty baggage she's still carrying around.
I agree.
There's no argument that she's carrying baggage. I'm not sure that the baggage is regret, though. Because she knows along the way.
She doesn't regret what she did.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't.
She does what she has to do, and she knows it.
It's baggage. I mean, you saw the book that she was carrying. What was it? Ways to talk to a troubled or abused child.
No. That was Daryl's book.
That was Daryl's book.
Oh, was that Daryl's?
Yeah.
It fell out of Daryl's bag when they were passing the bag. Oh, when she was passing the bag.
Oh, that's right. She had Tom Sawyer.
She had Tom Sawyer.
Which was Lizzie's book.
Tom Sawyer was Lizzie's book that was given to her by Herschel.
Mm-hmm.
Herschel. Yeah, so the child how to deal with child abuse.
A troubled child. That was
I totally missed that then. But I mean, other than that though, I mean, she doesn't regret what she did to Lizzie, but she still has the baggage of I killed a child who was not infected. You know, children are still supposed to be portrayed as something innocent in this show, like the way everybody looks at that little ass kicker. You know, they're supposed to be.
They're pure. They're not tainted. Nothing.
Exactly.
Unbiased.
And Lizzie was a corrupted little shit.
Lizzie's difficulty was seeing the world the way it was. She saw things differently.
Yeah,
I don't think she was a corrupted.
I was just gonna say that she had mental.
She was very clearly mentally ill.
It goes along the lines of I think like some kind of autism, even maybe, because I mean I know my son's got high functioning autism, and you can't tell, but he sees the world itself completely differently than anybody else does.
Yeah, and it's hard for us to say, one, because she's a character in a show, and two, because neither her nor the sister ever said what it was, but it was clearly they had ways of dealing with it.
Right.
The whole look at the flowers thing, I know we joke, but it was a very
serious moment, you know. You distract the child. I mean, there's times where my son's just going freaking nuts, and I'm like, hey, look. And it stops. And he just stares at it for a few minutes. And it gives me a second to try to reposition him. So, I mean, it is a very serious thing. And, you know, she did that. She made that choice along with Tyrese's? Was it Tyrese's?
Yeah.
Tyrese did what? Yes.
Back in the prison.
Yes.
This is seasons ago.
It was her
I'm
and
trying to
Tyrese
remember.
that were there when.
I know. There's so much that happens between seasons. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
I mean, get the names right. Remember. Oh, yeah.
Right. You know, and not just that. Sorry.
No. I was just going off of who was with who at what point. It's hard to keep
track. Yeah, exactly. And then not only that, she's still carrying the baggage of she was suicidal in the beginning. She came from an abusive relationship. She came from a world where she was nothing. And now so many people are relying on her, and she's saving people. You know, she's I guarantee you, in a way, she's looking at this as, I've killed a child, I'm killing people, I'm doing this stuff. Mm-hmm. And some of these people are innocent with a possibility of being dangerous for us. Mm-hmm. But in a way, does this make me any different than my husband?
I actually didn't look at it from that point of view. Because yes, obviously she's still got all of this weighing on her, but I didn't think that possibly she could be seeing herself as
right,
an abuser in a way.
Yeah, because when you're coming from a situation like that, for anybody, it's extremely difficult to see something in a positive. You're going to always revert right to the negative of every situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I also we did just mention the book that fell out of Daryl's bag. Mm-hmm. It could not just be, because we were very focused on Carol with the flashbacks, so consumed could, be referring to her, but could it also be referring to Daryl? Because they had a whole conversation about how it was burning away pieces of Carol as she changed basically throughout the seasons that we've seen her, and how Daryl's changed too.
Yeah, Carol made it very, very clear I'm not the only one who's changed drastically.
I don't think a lot of them have changed in the group perspective. A lot of them have changed drastically.
Yeah. And Daryl set all the fires today. Wasn't everyone proud of that? I thought that was cool. He actually, I don't think Carol lit one fire today.
No.
No,
Well,
that was all
day.
her. It was
it was
past.
all. So.
Yeah, I really.
I mean, obviously, Daryl has to reconcile a lot with his past. I mean, obviously, he was abused by his father and brother.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
we heard a little bit of that from what he told Beth.
Yes. Absolutely.
And he's being an adult and just really taking it head on and trying to deal with it the best way he can. I mean, obviously, he can't go out and get psychological care, but he could sure as hell read a book and just learn about it.
He might not be a child, but it all happened in his childhood.
Yes.
Right. And developmentally speaking, you kind of can get stuck, where your trauma happened. So if it happened in his childhood, he, it's probably, right. So he needs to get back there and
I have
resolve it.
PTSD. So.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, and it makes perfect, and I'm proud of him. I really am proud of him for doing this. I thought it was
Me too. It takes a lot of guts.
really cool.
And I felt so bad because he looked so ashamed when Carol saw the book, and I'm like, no, Daryl, don't be ashamed. It's okay.
It's okay.
She understands.
It's
feelings
not
are a good thing.
It's not an easy thing, especially when you're older. Because I know I didn't start seeing somebody until I was 26 or 27. I'm 28 now, so I've only been seeing somebody for like a year and a half now. And I know it took me that long, like 10 years between the end of the ordeal to then to actually admit I needed to see somebody. It's hard to do. It's very hard to do.
Yeah, and I think that because Carol said you were a boy and you've changed into a man. I think that really forced Daryl to think, maybe I have, but maybe I'm not there yet. Maybe I'm still stuck with this past that I have to address and face head on.
Yeah.
So Carol and Daryl were following the cops in the beginning of the episode, and they stopped outside of Atlanta and dragged around, I don't know, bicycles and maybe a dead guy. What the hell was going on there?
Boredom.
Barricade.
Huh?
It looked like they were clearing up a barricade because it was like it was like a tire. It didn't look like a body because it looked like he carried it from the center of it and then dropped it. So it looked like a tire.
Again, the lighting was really dark too.
They were building a fort.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was because it was so dark and I couldn't see what was going on.
Like, it was a little trouble seeing, but...
There was a little sign on the front. It said, Daryl and Carol's Fort. No nerds allowed.
Daryl and Carol Adventures.
We hate Chris.
You hate Chris. Everybody seems to.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't like when he was cutting the tents in the hallway. I looked at Steven. I'm like, this is why everybody hates Chris.
For anybody who doesn't know the reference we're talking about, the actor who plays Noah played Chris on Everybody Hates Chris.
A show I would never watch.
So
yeah, I did.
That reference. If
I couldn't.
I'm sorry. There's lines drawn. No, thank you.
The reference there is just.
That was super funny.
Yeah. Anyways, continue.
Did the cops know that they were being followed? Because he looks back, like right at their car.
You would think he would, but for some reason I felt like he did not know.
Look back to the end of the episode, please.
It looked like he did because he found them and then ran over.
Look at the end of the episode. I told you guys, what was it, last week or like 2 weeks ago? She was going to get run over by the car.
But
seeing it in the show, it looks like it was premeditated in some way.
Oh, of course. But it could have been two reasons why they did that. It could have been that they knew they were being followed and were keeping tabs on Carol and Daryl. Or they didn't know they were being followed. They heard the shot in the building, and when they were leaving, they saw Carol hit her on purpose. I don't know which one it is yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. The end.
Yeah, I think it might be that second one, because if they knew that there was more than one of them, why would they have just hit one and gone?
Exactly, because their motive is let one die and save the other. Save the weaker one. That's their MO.
That's their fatal mistake.
Carol is not the weaker one.
Yeah.
No.
Nope, and they'll soon find out.
Although I loved this episode for Carol seeing that she because she was with Tyrese and she had to do almost everything, but she sees that she doesn't have to do everything all the time, and that she can rely on some people to
take a moment
or carry some of that weight.
Daryl let her sleep in, which I think is the first time we've seen Carol sleep past at all. Actually,
I know.
And
it's always like number one to take watch. Number one to do this, number one.
And when she woke up, her face, she was shocked. First off, there's light coming in.
There's a fire.
And then the fire, and here's Daryl doing something for her.
Yeah.
She didn't even ask him to do it.
Yeah, didn't even ask. He just did it.
Well, I don't think, and that's the thing, because I don't think she would have, if it had to be done, she wouldn't have asked him to do it. She would have done it herself. Right. So instead of her having to do it herself, Daryl just did without asking.
Yeah.
Finally.
Probably.
So in Atlanta, the office building, what was with the zombie sleepover?
I know. I was like, what the?
I kind of went with what the chick said on Talking Dead. It looks like they were sleeping, trying to, normally perfectly fine. And when the bomb dropped or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is what, it intrigues me so much, but I feel like this is one of the setups that we're never going to get an answer to. But it looks very deliberate and something very specific happened because all of those bodies in the sleeping bags had like stomach or chest wounds, like they were bleeding.
Yep.
And it's like, did someone just come in and stab them all in the chest and then run away, or did they zip it back up after they killed the ones in the tents? It's just, my mind was going like, what happened here? What happened? I'm never gonna get an answer.
I knew it was a living community, but I was like, I was the same thing. I was like, what?
See, I thought something poisoned them.
No. You saw the wounds on the legs.
Yeah, they all had wounds.
From either their stomach, their torsos, and...
Yeah, I can't figure it out.
They had significant wounds to them. And again, as Clio said, it looks like one of those things that was very deliberate, very set up, very pretty, very questionable, that we'll never get an answer to.
It could have just been the hospital people in the running the hospital.
Yeah.
They didn't want to listen. They didn't want to. Maybe it was like a group, two groups pitted against each other, sort of thing.
That was
group
like
packed. Let's stab ourselves, guys. Okay.
That was down
ready.
the block.
1, 2. Jim, get your sword.
They did them dirty.
That was down the block from the hospital, so there's a chance it's unrelated. But
maybe it was a cult. You know how like the cults all drink the punch at the same time.
This time they decided.
It really, but they were all stuck in those.
Yeah, so someone zipped them up.
They were cocooned in there.
Oh, they were sleeping. They were zipped up.
The zombies were just like.
Hey, I don't understand. I don't understand zippers. Can you?
How do zippers work?
Puzzling zombies. It was.
All right.
Get out of my sleeping bag. I just want to wear my onesie to bed.
Just stop.
I like half expected one of them to get up and just start hopping. Like you do when you're stuck in a sleeping bag.
Random zombie noises.
It's kind of like those ones in the. It's kind of like those ones in the tent where all of a sudden you just see them kind of.
Yeah, that was
I don't understand borders.
So confused.
And it's funny. I was laughing because of the way Norman or Daryl goes skipping like right by one of them with his hands up in the air, and I laugh because that's actually how he walks past things. Like that was totally him, and it's the funniest thing in the world. He like Peter Pan prances past things.
I didn't want to get dirty.
Why don't he let us speak?
Yes, a clean cut gentleman.
So Noah, what do we think of him this episode versus when we saw him with Beth?
Freaking grimy bastard.
Well,
Oh, hey, I'm not gonna ask for help. I just want to steal your shit. but I don't know how to use a gun, and I'm gonna get myself killed, and then asking for forgiveness and help me, freaking rat bastard.
He was following them for a while because they like cut away to like something moving in the background a few times as Carol and Daryl were making their way through that building
from the garage on. I think he said.
Yeah, and so I think he's in his head planning this assault on the hospital by himself.
It was a really...
And I think
there's only one person. There's only like a handful of people in this entire show who could pull off something like that. And
it's
no
Carol.
It's Carol. Maybe Rick, if he's pissed off enough.
Definitely Daryl.
Yeah, Daryl.
And
it's
Daryl.
Carol and Daryl, that's it.
Yeah. You know, the thing with Noah, though, in this episode is, unfortunately, they built him up so much in that last episode with Beth where you would like him.
Yes.
That it was so hard to sit here and write him off completely in this episode because you're like, he has such a good side to him.
And and that's definitely why they did it.
Yeah, it's very hard.
He is a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And he spent half of the zombie apocalypse locked up in that hospital.
I know, and I was thinking he was just freaking out. First thing he can find, he wants to take and use as protection.
That's the wrong person's crossbow, though.
Oh, most certainly.
I love how he grabs the pack. He grabs the carton and grabs the pack of cigarettes, lights it up, and goes, "Nope, you're screwed."
Yeah, I know. It takes his crossbow and walks off.
No,
we can't do this.
Hands.
Did Daryl actually not care, or was he just trying to get Carol?
I think he was testing Carol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
He's not that much of a jackass.
I think he was testing Carol. Like, honestly, that was one of those moments where you're looking at Daryl like, you would never do this.
Like what are you doing?
I thought also he was trying to get the kid to shit himself and be like, you know, we're not fucking around. So quit. Don't
learn a lesson, bitch.
Again, or you're really going to be dead.
It's more like, let's make him piss his pants real quick and then be like, look, we're the alphas.
That's what I told.
You're going to give us our guns back.
These are the rules.
And then you're going to listen. Because very obviously now we know at the end of that one episode, Daryl returned with Noah.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious now.
Which it pretty much looks like, oh, well, I lost my surefire way to get through that hospital, so we're going to go get Rick and the others now.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's basically me fighting off this hospital right now, so let's go get Rick. Me and some shit kid that can't do anything.
Exactly. Yeah, because the thing
he's got a limp, so.
Carol and Daryl's plan was to go scope it out, see what they're capable of, and if they could have handled it on their own, they would have.
Oh, yeah. By any means.
So it was more of a recon mission with the possibility of getting reinforcements. So we're definitely going to get reinforcements now.
Yeah.
Right. No holds barred. The bitches are going to die.
Had it been just Daryl and Carol together with their weapons ready to go, I think they could have done it.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
If they would have caught them while a couple of the cops were on patrol, I think they could have done it.
Also, if Carol wasn't injured, because she did hurt her
shoulder from the crash
on the way down.
Yeah.
From the fucking car drop. Can we talk about that, actually? I forgot to write that in the notes.
It's freaking cool.
They are so lucky that thing landed top right up.
In real life.
Oh my god, because I was like, oh no, it's going to flip over. Oh my god, no. Don't do it. Yeah, I thought that was where she was going to get badly hurt.
So did I. I'm like, in real life, you would not walk away from that. No way.
It's not that bad. I mean, they had their seatbelts on. She obviously got bruised from her seatbelt.
Bless you.
Yeah, it was right. The collarbone right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all
right here.
But they held hands, guys. It was adorable.
They were fine.
More importantly,
she grabbed his hand.
Yes. Because it's like, we've faced zombies before, whatever.
And then she laid in his bed.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice. They laid together. They were just like,
like 5 seconds.
Moments. I like those moments. I think it's better than just like forcing them to kiss or something. I think those moments are better.
Precious moments, I call them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned this in one of the other episodes, but there's a theory that's going around that now I totally forgot where I read it, but that Morgan is Noah's uncle.
I've heard that one.
Oh, I heard
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
And I really think that that's true.
Because maybe
And
that's
if it
what
is, when you think
Morgan's
Morgan's going
doing.
to come into play?
Maybe that's what Morgan's doing, because they've already said Morgan's coming back for something.
Yeah.
We've seen him.
Yeah, we've seen him.
We saw him in the forest near Terminus. He's in the area.
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder,
So-
like, when he's going to come into play.
Maybe they'd put a mid-season finale, maybe end of this season's finale.
Right. Yeah, we have 2 more episodes left until
That's it.
it's done for the year.
For the mid-season. Woot.
Till
Yeah.
February.
A lot of our shows
Till
are
February.
closing down for the season.
Yeah.
It's pronounced February. Thank you.
February.
Yeah. Do you guys have
February.
anything else to say about this episode while you talk about how to pronounce February?
Fluperary.
It's late.
I'm good.
Late.
All right. So next episode is called Crossed. Some members hold down the church while others are on a rescue mission.
Oh, another group split up. Yay.
You
Well,
never
all right,
split
can
a
we-
party, guys.
can
You never
we-
split a party.
Can we
Tyrese?
call our split
They do it all
because
the time.
Tyrese is staying home, Carl's staying
So is
home,
Carl.
Carl.
So is
Father
Baby Ass Baker.
Jackass.
Father Jackass. Yeah, it looks like we're going to get a little more of him, which I want to see him have a good character development, because I want him to overcome his cowardice, because I think he
I'd
could
like to
be
see him
a really good
different.
person.
I agree.
He could stab a crucifix, and that'd be really just some Simon Belmont shit going on.
Oh my god, I just like had a flash of Trigun where he's got the giant cross and it turns into a rocket launcher.
Wolfgang.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That'd be
Yeah.
amazing. Oh,
Just-
if Walking
or
Dead
no,
was
Wolfwood.
an anime. Wait,
Wolfwood.
guys, if Walking Dead was an anime.
Wolfwood.
Daryl's hair would be this big.
Yeah.
it would
There's
be-
a supernatural anime.
Really?
Yes.
Why have I never heard of this?
There's a supernatural anime and a supernatural manga and
Oh, that's it. We're fine.
This night is over.
you're welcome.
No sleep.
So, yeah. Heather, where can the people find you watching, Walking Dead anime?
I'm not watching Walking. I am tunnel visioning. I freaking today on Facebook. They're like, well, Heather hasn't seen this yet. Like 5 minutes late, and I'm like, I'm here. I don't have a tag because they haven't made me a tag, and I made a new everything. You can find me on, oh my god, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, like the whole 9 yards, Tumblr, at Chronixia, CHRONYXIA.
At Michelle, where can the people find you?
At Michelle at
Twitter. And time and space.
Time and space.
John, where can they find you with your dick pics?
Everywhere. Mostly on Twitter at No More More. And stuff.
And
things.
you
And
can
stuff.
find me.
In fact, here comes one.
Stuff and things. Things and stuff. Stuff and things.
Stuff and things.
Stuff.
Just like Rick Grimes would have wanted.
Yep.
And you can find me at Clio Moto. You can find all of us and more at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Gmail, MySpace. And yeah, that's all. Bye guys. See you next week.
Bye, Internet. I'll see you later.
I'm seriously
Also
gonna watch the
dick
shit out of that supernatural anime. You have no
I'm dead
idea.
serious, bro.
I found it. I found it.
Told
Now
you.
you're gonna watch it
Shit
all-
is awesome.
And all
It's right
night.
here. I'm watching that fucking after we're done
Shit is
here.
awesome. I was dead serious. Like, I saw that. Oh, God, it's old. They made it a while ago, but I know. I think Jared did his voice, but Sam didn't.
Did they do that after the show, or did they do it before the show?
Oh, the animal
After. It
posts.
started 2011.
Oh,